Let me start off with a clip from who I would vote for president right now. It's not Trump, not DeSantis. Believe it or not, if I were to vote for president right now, for me, it might, for some people it's not a surprise, but for others it might be. It would be Comic Dave Smith. And this is Comic Dave Smith right here. You're going to hear it. This Comic Dave Smith is the young man on the left. On the right is Hotep Jesus. And you've got some powerful minds when those two get together. Let's hear what Comic Dave Smith had to say about Donald Trump in this clip here.
He could have, if he really was up to the role, like if he was up to the moment in history that the gods laid before him, he could have done some cool shit. He could have pulled out of every one of these wars, and he absolutely could have done it. And people make a million excuses for him, but you know what? He could have done it. He could have just had a national televised address and said, you know what? I'm the commander in chief. The American people voted for me. We're ending every one of these wars. All of the troops are coming home from Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan. We're not supporting the Saudis anymore. That's it. This is a mess from Bush 1 to Clinton to Obama to like Bush 2. All of them were out of this. He just didn't have the courage or the wherewithal to do that. And so he just kind of went, he just kind of kept the system going, but bitched about CNN on Twitter and all of that. But anyway, but to your question.
But no, we got to start. I know. Continue. Go ahead. Continue.
Well, to your question, the thing that really bothers me about saying he incited violence is like, look, Donald Trump, he went out like a bitch.
Comic Dave Smith. And let me tell you, there's nothing that he said that I disagree with. It's going to sound like when I go through what I'm talking about today, it's going to sound like I disagree with Comic Dave Smith. To some people, I know for a fact because I went through this in Twitter and people thought I was making excuses. You heard Comic Dave Smith say, and you might hear Anomaly say. Some people might be making excuses for Trump. I'll speak for myself, though. I don't make excuses for myself. I for damn sure I'm not going to make excuses for some random dude. I don't know Trump like that. I'm not making excuses for anybody. I don't make excuses for my wife or kids. So if it comes across as that, you have a right to your opinion, but that for sure ain't what I would be looking at. When I used to play sports, or actually I played video games, and I would record the video games, even like these shows. The last show, I listened back to every single live or every single video I upload to try and get better. The last one was brutal. My audio was, I didn't even listen to it. I should just delete it. But my point is, we can go back to Donald Trump's first term and learn from it. I don't give a damn. Yeah, he could have pardoned Assange and he could have done a lot of other stuff. We don't know what the ramifications are, though. We're not privy to what's behind the scenes. Drain the swamp sounded good. Obviously, it's much harder to do in practice. Dave Smith, all that stuff he's talking about, I would vote for him for president. It's a lot easier to say than get done. That's what this is going to be about. It's not about making any excuses. Thanks for Casual Goats, right in time for a lunch break. Much love to Casual Goats. Much love to Nathaniel Erskine. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Pueblo County representing. I think we have somebody, fellow Coloradan here. Didn't know there was a live stream, man. I wish I was able to be consistent, but grateful that I can kind of fit it in when I got lunch break or whatever else. So thanks for joining Casual Goats. Yeah, I would like to promote it. It's not being done right. It should be consistent, promoted. That's how you know people come, but you got family, kids, work. Kyle Tompkins said, you have a great channel, bro. You and I are pretty much the same person. Much love. Appreciate it, man. Like building with everybody. Here's where I'm going to take this. It's fair criticism. I'm not saying it's not fair criticism. I'm saying the expectations are unfair. DC is a machine. And I want to use this analogy. Imagine if Elon Musk, I follow Tesla a lot. Imagine if Elon Musk, and this is a quote tweet from the Libertarian Party of Connecticut. Thank you for that tweet. Good interaction. And that tweet made me think and do something else. So that's why I like building on Twitter and having good discussion. But imagine if you know any, let me just break it down for you pretty simple here. GM is a legacy automaker. They make gas cars. They make some hybrid cars. It's very hard to make an all-electric car, which they do, to scale. You can make an electric car. That's not a problem. Can you manufacture them and make millions per year? That is a problem. That's not easy. So what I'm bringing is, if you took Elon Musk and said, hey, I'm going to make him CEO of GM. This is what Trump did. Trump came into the machine and you're the president. The machine is still there. Trump is the head at the top. There are thousands, literally 2 million, but let's focus on like the 50,000 that matter. There's 50,000 federal employees from what I'm reading here. I'm no expert on it, but from a great article I'm going to go through, 50,000 that are kind of mover and shakers. They're the ones that get the gears of the government working. Just like GM, who's on the line? Who's the one putting the bolts in the car? So you take Elon Musk, you put him in the head of GM. How long do you think it's going to take before he turns GM into Tesla? Tesla has a factory in Berlin. They have factories, I think multiple factories in China. They've got the multiple factories in the US now. And they're all designed to build only electric cars. GM doesn't have that. So you have Elon Musk, you take him and you say, boop, tomorrow, Elon Musk, you're the head of GM. He's not going to pump out Teslas like he is now in 4 years. That's not a realistic expectation. You can call that an excuse if you want, but you're just being hard-headed. It's not possible. He's the head. He will get it done. Elon, he would get it done. He would have to look who's on board, who's not on board. Get my chiefs and staff here. Fire who's not on board. We got to save money. We got to find out how do we transition from gas to electric. It would be easier for Elon Musk to start a new Tesla than it would be. He would rather start a new Tesla from scratch than take over GM and try to turn it into Tesla. Because then they got to break it down, then start it back up. So that's what happened with Trump. Trump gets into office. He can't just magically change everything. Let's be real. Another analogy. This is the best analogy of Donald Trump, because here's where I view it differently than Comic Dave Smith. Donald Trump was that political figurative Molotov cocktail that the working class and everyone who is disaffected from this machine of Republicans and Democrats were tired of him, voted for Obama and saw that it was trash, and said, I want something different. I don't like where this is going. Donald Trump was that figurative Molotov cocktail. I think maybe even a bulldozer is a better analogy. So you got this big bulldozer, or let's do Star Wars. You've got the Death Star. That's DC. The Death Star in Star Wars is like the base for the bad guys, if you don't know Star Wars. So Donald Trump takes him and his band of misfits. How many people were really down with Trump to go into? They had Reince Priebus on the stage. Come on. People are like, well, why didn't he surround himself with more America First? Who's qualified? Who wants to do that? You go into the Death Star, that's a political kamikaze mission. That's what it was. We have to be real about that. So he goes into the Death Star. Everybody, it's just one ship of kamikaze, a dude and a couple band of misfits. They're in the Death Star. Everybody's against them. But what's the benefit, Comic Dave Smith? The benefit is he's sending information back out to us. So now we know with the Sussman trial what they did, how they spied on him. Like, we know that for a fact. We know that it was sent down from Hillary Clinton, that she approved it. We know that for a fact. We wouldn't know that without Trump. The impeachments. We know how they tried to impeach him. We know how they tried to get him afterwards. We can make smarter moves. He was the bulldozer that just said, I'm going through. Almost like you ever go to a dance back in the day, like in middle school. I remember the dances, and at least back in the day, it would be the boys on one side, the girls on the other side, and nobody would be dancing. And it would take like one dude to step up and be like, yeah, come on. And then everybody came in and danced. So Trump was like, I'm going through. Bannon, I'm like, we're going through. We're bulldozing this thing politically, figuratively. And then we're going to send information out, paving the way for Carrie Lake. Good luck in her primary. Paving the way for Blake Masters. Paving the way for Marjorie Taylor Greene. Paving the way for Ron DeSantis. Paving the way for libertarians, too. You can see the blueprints. I'm analyzing a chess match. I'm not making excuses.